Ben Elton is tackling some of the biggest issues of our time in his new stand-up show, Authentic Stupidity. I love the title. Before kicking off his Australian tour later this week in Perth, we are delighted to say Ben joins us in the studio. Ben, how are you this morning?
Well, I'm very well. I'm bearing up. I've just finished 105 dates in the UK.
Wow.
So it's the longest tour I've ever done, and considering I'm the oldest I've ever been while doing it.
You're also the youngest you ever will be, Ben.
That's true. That's true indeed. Yeah, it carries on now right through to my 66th birthday in New Zealand. Wow. Which is retirement age in Britain, but I don't think I'll be retiring. But yes, the tour has been going extremely well, and I'm so thrilled to be finally being able to bring it to Australia.
This show is called Authentic Stupidity. I'm looking forward to the audience feedback, which is going to suggest I'm authentically stupid. But I do want to pose the big question. Is humanity too stupid to survive, in your view?
Well, I have to hope not. I've got children, I've got many loved ones, and I'm quite a fan of humanity in many ways. I mean, certainly, I think we're all feeling very uncertain these days. I mean, the world definitely appears to be vaguely going to hell in a handcart on so many levels, which, of course, I think is why comedy, you know, it seems like a selfish thing to say, but I think we're comedians are kind of another emergency service. I've certainly felt, you know, in the UK, a great relief at everyone being able to laugh together. Of course, I you know, as ever in my work, I take on big issues and little issues and put them all together. But I sense that people really love to be able to go out, come together and enjoy a shared laugh, because obviously laughing together is a very good example of what we all have in common. And when so much is divisive out there in the world, I think I'm quite proud to be a comedian just now.
Well, yeah, laughter is so important. Now, you talk about AI a lot. Why are you so concerned about AI?
Well, you know, I don't talk about it a lot in my show. It's a great hook because, you know, we're all very aware that we have now... the brilliance of humanity has got to the point where the stupidity is also it's equal, because we're clear to have invented machines which even its inventors and its funders admit will probably replace us. I mean, they're not even bothering to lie about it. When Rishi Sunak, the former British Prime Minister, had a summit with Elon Musk about AI, Elon Musk said, look, you know, 10 years from now we probably won't need people at all. And you know, I mean, if a terrorist went on the telly and said, you know, we've got a machine that will make you redundant, I think we'd send in the SAS pretty quick. So look, there's fun and some horror to be had at the fact that technology unleashes itself willy-nilly upon us. You know, the iPhone gets invented, everyone goes, great, you had that item about it, but we all know it's stealing childhoods at a horrifying rate. So look, there's stuff to be talked about, but I'm there to be funny, and I just use it as a way to get into what I always do, which is unpacking the essential absurdity of being human.
Let's get to that. Would you ever consider another series of Blackadder? And the Trump era, right? That'd be a great era to base it in.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Blackadder and Baldrick. Well, yes, I mean, who's stupider, him or them? Look, I don't think there's ever going to be another Blackadder. I don't think there's any appetite. We're all still friends. You know, I had dinner both with Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie only a few weeks ago when I was in London. They came to, I did a little run in the West End, which was rather exciting. Rowan came as well. I think the fact that we're all still friends is probably partly because we don't do Blackadder anymore. I mean, it was 35... You know, we finished in 89 with that scene where they all go over the top, which is, you know, has seemed to have sort of sat in the culture, and we're very proud of that. I've just done a sitcom with David Mitchell about Shakespeare. I mean, I still do historical stuff. But yeah, the Adder was of its time, and we're all proud of it, but I don't think there's any...
You just hear the hearts breaking.
I know, especially James. Let's talk more about political uncertainty, the White House, the daily goings-on.
My goodness.
It looks like there's a lot of content being provided. I mean, even the late-night shows in the US, they seem to have found a new life in documenting all of it. Is it, in a way, a gift to comedy?
I don't think so. I mean, you know, I think Trump has been unsatirisable because he hides in plain sight. He admits who he is. I mean, he doesn't say, look, I'm a bully or anything, but he basically is quite happy to act like one and shrug and, you know, take it or leave it. He's like Boris Johnson was in Britain. There's really not much you can say because they kind of embrace their own appallingness. I mean, I know ABC has to be balanced, but I can say what I like, and I'm certainly not balanced when it comes to my attitude to Trump. But no, I say very little about him in the routine because, you know, I'm there to entertain, and everyone in that audience, they know exactly what I'm thinking. They're thinking much the same thing. And, you know, we know it's going to have to play out because he's in the position nobody ever imagined he would be. And frankly, I don't think there's an awful lot to say about it from a comedy point of view. But, you know, I give it a nod in the 2.5 hours I'm on stage.
Very briefly before we let you go, you're an Aussie, you've got a home in Fremantle. Do you have a view on Australian politics and what's happening here?
Look, you know, I think everybody knows how I vote. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say so on the telly. I'm essentially, I believe strongly in the values of the community, and I think we should all put in. I think rich, wealthy people like me should put in a bigger lot. That's how I vote, and I think that when we forget the community and exalt only the individual, which is very much the sort of Trumpian way, yeah, let's get a Tsar to fix it. Let's get a very rich man to fix the problems of the poor. I think the community is better placed to fix its own problems. So my vote and my politics are always about bringing people together and not exalting the great mythical strong man who will solve everything. I think we all know how that ends, and it's not well.
Ben Elton, we do appreciate you stopping by, and all the best for the rest of your tour.
Well, come and see me. I'm all over Australia making people laugh, which is a good thing to be doing.